Hey there, Tango Jones, back again for three random questions. So the first question is, do you watch the current WWE, AEW, or any wrestling? I I do watch WWE when I can. I don't watch AEW so much. If it's on, I'll take a look. I've never really got pulled into it. I do watch TNA regularly, and some of the bigger indie shows like OVW and things like that that show online. Um, when I get the chance to. I do watch a lot of independent wrestling. Um, when I'm not actually working on a show, if I get a chance to go to a show, I'll check it out. I'm just a huge fan of all of it in particular. Uh, what? Who's your all-time favorite top three wrestlers? That's a really tough question because that spans over a lot of time with me. Um, my all-time favorite probably has to be Jake Roberts. Just I just remember being mesmerized and captivated early on before he even really had the snake character down in that everybody knows in WWF. Um, I'll talk about that in a minute. I used to watch him in Mid South Wrestling a lot. Um, Another one of my early favorites was Roddy Piper. Just the crazy heel gimmick and just you know you always got to have that one super villain bad guy, and I believe he was the guy really early on, and when the WWF took off. You had Hulkamania, but I don't think you would have had Hulkamania quite as big without Roddy Piper. And I'd also have to say Edge. Always been a fan of Edge since the first time I saw him live in the '90s in a dark match. All the way through his run, and still what he's been able to do lately. Just again, somebody who has the total package, the total entertainment value, everything that you could want from a superstar. So if I had to limit it to three, right off the top of my head, that would be it. And you ask me another time or another day, and I'd probably have a different three. There's just so many great wrestlers out there. What's your earliest memory from wrestling? First match that's stuck in your mind? It kind of blurs together, but it all goes back to the same time period, right around the time of WrestleMania 1. Um, Before WrestleMania 1 a little bit, between 1 and 2 were some big ones. The first match that really sticks in my mind that I can remember the match for and just as a match, nothing else, was Intercontinental title match between Macho Man and Tito Santana, where Macho Man reached down, pulled a foreign object out of the tights, hit Tito coming back on a back suplex, and just covered him up for the 1, 2, 3. As simple as that. Um, just 10 whatever year old me, I will give up my age totally, but young Tango was just like, I can't believe that guy did that. I can't believe he cheated. Nobody saw that. We all saw that. What happened? My first time really being like, just upset. Like, got one over. So that was the match that sticks out. But that whole time frame really. I used to watch. We were lucky enough to get on TV Mid South Wrestling, and they had a lot of people on there early on. Ted DiBiase, Jake Roberts, Junkyard Dog, very very young Shawn Michaels was on there for a while. Dr. Death Steve Williams, One Man Gang, Big Bubba Rogers became Big Boss Man. A lot of guys that you saw rise up in the WWF in the late 80s to early 90s all came from that Mid-South region, and when you got to see them all together when they were just getting started in Hungary, it was definitely something special to watch. And then also just the WWF product back in that day. I really getting pulled into the Danny Davis crooked referee storyline, if you're familiar with that. He used to have some questionable decisions in all these matches, that happened to favor people that Jimmy Hart managed, and then it just got more and more egregious to the point where, it's obvious that Danny Davis was cheating, and he ended up costing the British Bulldogs the tag team championships to the Hart Foundation. So I remember that whole thing, and then everybody getting their redemption and stuff like that, and that was really a whole story that stuck out in my mind, obviously, and maybe did plant the seeds for me wanting to be a referee. And I've been able to uh, have some of those moments myself, so it's been kind of a full circle thing. But yeah, earliest memories from wrestling is a lot of stuff from the mid '80s, and just really getting to watch all these people that are Hall of Famers now when they first started. So I hope I answered your questions again in enough detail. I probably went into too much on a couple, but as again, it's been my pleasure, and thank you very much. Bye.